Lalo THR here. What's going down, everybody? It's been a minute. Um, Before I go on a little spiel about why I haven't produced any content in the last 2.5 months, 3 months, whatever it's been, feels like it's been a long ass time. I would be remiss if I didn't pay my respects to one Mr. Terry Funk and Mr. Wyndham Bray Wyatt Rotunda, which the latter hit me like a freight train, man. I cannot believe it. I'm absolutely dumbfounded, speechless. I cannot believe it. Bray Wyatt. Well, let's talk about Terry Funk first. Let's talk about Terry Funk first because his death, poor guy, he's kind of being overshadowed now, because all due respect to Terry Funk and his family, but Terry Funk lived a full, fulfilling life. He was 79 years old, pushing 80. And he actually got to see his career flourish. He had a prime, a true prime, and his career was iconic, man. The death matches in Japan and everything. Now, I personally, I am not a fan of that stuff, and I never watched Terry Funk. I seen his stuff in WWE, the few stints that he had. But what I know Terry Funk from the most is the Beyond the Mat movie that came out in the late '90s. That was like, at the time, it was considered like a big expose of the business. Kayfabe was still alive back then, and the business was still heavily protected. So that movie was really controversial at the time that it came out. And just like the Attitude Era, it was a product of its time. So that movie was big. And it's kind of outdated now to go back and watch it nowadays. But it's still like a guilty pleasure for me because it just holds a lot of nostalgic vibe to it. But that's what I know Terry Funk from the most. And that DVD actually, that movie actually really shone a bright light on both Terry Funk and Mick Foley. That movie actually really showed for the first time just how incredible of a human being Mick Foley is. Just such a humble, down to earth, nicest guy you could ever meet in the entire world. But anyway, Terry Funk, I have so much respect for him and what he's contributed to this business. And I send my respects to his whole family, to him and all of his fans. Um, you know, CM Punk already posted on his IG and his IG story about Terry. I know that he was a major fan of Terry Funk. He posted a photo of him hugging Terry Funk, and several wrestlers have paid their respects to Mr. Funk. Um, so yeah, man. But let's go ahead and talk about Bray Wyatt though, because not to overshadow Terry Funk's death or anything, but Bray Wyatt was 36 years old. I'll be 36 in 2 years. So that just really hits close to home for me. That is way too young to lose your life. And it's being reported that he passed of a heart attack. It's also being reported that he actually had COVID. And COVID exasperated heart problems that he had already been dealing with long before the pandemic happened. So, then this heart attack happened spur of the moment. They said he was away from WWE recovering from a potentially career and life threatening illness, which that headline in itself really caught me off guard when I read that weeks ago. That to me, I thought it was clickbait. I never paid attention to it. I was just like, these writers, man, they're corny as fuck. They're really they do anything to try to get clicks. Bray Wyatt don't have no life threatening illness or injury. First they said injury, then it turned into illness, right? So yeah, when it comes to those articles from those dirt sheets and stuff, I rarely click on them and read them because I'm just jaded over dirt sheet writers, and their clickbaity titles and how they're always trying to stir shit up. But I guess it was the real deal Holyfield, man, because Bray Wyatt is gone now. And yeah, I mean, yesterday at work, I'm a truck driver, and I was posted up. I deliver products to restaurants, to like poultry, beef, and all kind of other things. I deliver products, and this particular restaurant, the guy, he takes forever and a day to write me a check. So I just, I gave him the invoice after I made my delivery. I went back into the truck, and I just sat and I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna browse through Twitter, you know, and big mistake, big mistake. Because I open up Twitter and the first thing I see is Triple H tweeting that he got word from Mike Rotunda that Bray Wyatt has tragically and unexpectedly passed away, and that shit hit me like a freight train. It was like Eddie Guerrero all over again. Actually, Bray Wyatt's death to me is very very similar to Eddie Guerrero's, where that shit just happened out of nowhere and way too soon. I think Eddie Guerrero was like 38 when he passed, I want to say. So he was a little bit older than Bray Wyatt, just by a couple years, but I could be wrong, I think. But man, this news hit me like a fucking freight train. What was supposed to be like, 6 to 8 minutes of downtime turned into 40 minutes of me in shambles in that truck, dog. I almost started crying. I felt like tears welling up in my eyes, you know. I didn't even go back inside the restaurant to pick up the invoice. The customer actually came out of his restaurant and went up to my truck and handed me the check while I was in my truck. I just rolled down my window, I collected it, I said, all right, thank you very much. I rolled my window back up and I continued sitting in my truck, bro, for like the next 40 minutes. It was terrible, man. I was in shambles. I could not believe it. And I still can't believe it. A day removed, I still cannot believe it. I'm hoping, I actually tweeted out. I said, man, please, somebody tell me that someone hacked Triple H's account and this is fake. Please, somebody tell me. I didn't want to believe it, man. But when it comes straight from the main man, it's not gonna be, like that. But man, I just I can't believe it, man. Bray Wyatt, he had an amazing career, man. I tell you, his Wyatt family run, the original Bray Wyatt iteration, that original Bray Wyatt family run with just him and Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, just those two. Before they even brought in Braun Strowman, because I want to say Braun Strowman was a later addition too. At that, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Just those three, man. I have amazing nostalgic like memories with that group. In the original theme that he came out with, I loved it when he would make his entrance. I seen it live. I got to see it live when I lived in South Carolina. I went to a Raw live from the Bilo Center, which is now known as the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. But back then it was the Bilo Center, and I seen it live. Now that's a precious memory to me now. Just being able to see the Wyatt family come out live, man. You don't realize that, some memories that you're creating, you don't realize that they're actually gonna become special one day. You never know, you know. But I love the original entrance when the lights would go out and you would hear Bray Wyatt's voice saying, "We're here." And then theme song would hit. Doom, 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 doom. That shit was so dope, bro. They really fucked up Bray Wyatt, man, in the later times. Like I never got into the Fiend character, to be quite honest. I thought it was an interesting idea in theory, but then the way WWE used it, it just it didn't work for me. And I thought his return was tremendous, man. Recently, when Triple H brought him back, man, this most recent return, I think in Extreme Rules, right, is where he came back last year. That was tremendous. One of the best returns I've ever seen. But then they really didn't utilize Bray Wyatt to his full potential. I mean, pretty much his original Wyatt family run will never ever be topped, man. You know, and it's hard to top that because that was a special run. You know, and their feud with the Shield and everything they did, man. It was a very special run, and it's a shame that Bray Wyatt kind of lost some steam after he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania and Undertaker at WrestleMania. I actually felt like Bray Wyatt could have been the one to end Undertaker's streak, honestly. I actually have a video talking about that too, a little mini clip talking about that. I was one of the people that felt like Bray Wyatt could have been the one to end Undertaker's streak and the torch could have been passed to him. But then I mean, the way they used Bray Wyatt though, after that Wyatt family run, they kind of, you know, killed all hopes of that. It wouldn't have been good. But yeah, man, that original Wyatt family run was special, and this is a terrible loss. It really is because Bray Wyatt, Terry Funk, we got to see him in his prime. We got to see his career go through everything, trials and tribulations. But Bray Wyatt, we only got a little glimpse of it, man. When was Bray Wyatt was in WWE? What, since 2011? Maybe 2010. When he was in developmental, maybe. But it wasn't that long, man. In the grand scheme of things, Bray Wyatt wasn't here for very long. So just look at everything he accomplished in such a short time, bro. It's crazy. I remember Bray Wyatt before he was even Bray Wyatt, when he used to be, I think, Husky Harris, and he was on that knockoff NXT, when NXT used to be a knockoff Tough Enough, right? NXT was like a bastardized version of Tough Enough, where they did these little challenges, like these weirdo competitions. Like, I don't even remember. It was such a bizarre time in WWE. I think that was the same era when they were doing like guest general managers every week on Raw or something like that. It was such a weird time for WWE. But yeah, I remember NXT, and like the star pupils of NXT had mentors or something like that. Like I think Wade Barrett, I think, had The Miz or something like that. I could be confusing. Or Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho was like a mentor on there. And Husky Harris, I don't know. I think Matt Striker was also one of their mentors. But anyway, I remember Bray Wyatt before he became Bray Wyatt, man, when he was Husky. And he looked so unassuming, man. Like, all due respect to him, God rest his soul. But when I first seen Bray Wyatt as Husky Harris, I didn't think nothing of him. I'm like, oh, this kid ain't gonna get very far here. Boy, was I wrong. He fucking killed me, bro. Because look at his career that he had, accomplishing so much in such a short time period too. And one of the best factions of all time, I could say, honestly. The Wyatt family, come on, bro. Anybody will see it and have to agree, because that was a tremendous run, man. The Wyatt family, such a dope entrance, dope characters all the way around, and they produce good matches together too. God rest Brody Lee as well, man. Luke Harper, and now hopefully Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper are reunited in paradise. And damn, man, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt, man. What a terrible loss. Let's go ahead and switch gears now, guys. I've been gone for a while. I actually lost interest in wrestling. I ain't even gonna lie. Within these last 2 months, man, there's just been a lot of stuff going on, and me being primarily an AEW fan, I have not been satisfied with the creative direction AEW has gone in. Quite frankly, I think that AEW it's like I love it, but it frustrates me a lot because AEW could be so much better than what it is. And I've touched on this before. There's prior episodes where I go way more in depth on why I feel like AEW is heading in the wrong direction. I actually have an old podcast episode titled AEW Has No Direction. That one I don't believe is available on YouTube. But all my stuff is up on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, where you can listen to some of my older episodes. I wouldn't recommend listening to the super older episodes because they're even more cringier than these ones. But yeah, man, I lost interest in wrestling. There was so much going on. I mean, the Titan Submersible story just completely took over my life for that week and a half, 2 weeks that thing was going on. I mean, that was back when I was thinking that they were trapped in the submersible, which I don't know how anybody in their right mind would pay 250 plus G's to go under the water in a tin can. That's the same size as a minivan inside. I mean, these are billionaires too, or not billionaires, but like wealthy people, certainly if not billionaires, like hundreds of millions of dollars these people are worth. I mean, 250K just to take a little trip, underwater, that ain't peanuts. And that story just took over everything. I was enthralled by that because I just couldn't believe that thing was. This has been a weird year altogether, really. 2023. I gotta be honest. This year has been it's been wild. It's been wild. I mean, before that, we had the Chinese spy balloon. I never touched on that. The Chinese spy balloon, going all over the United States and finally got shot down. I think off the coast of Florida or something like that. Just this has been a weird year. I mean, and then, beyond that, we got UFOs and whistleblowers coming out like David Grush or whatever his name is, David Grush, coming out and literally confirming like, yeah, it's official. We're not alone. There's aliens. I've seen them, dog. I mean, I worked with them. I mean, they're real. And he's like this isn't just some, Yahoo, who captured some blurry ass wannabe UFO footage in his backyard talking about, yeah, there's a UFO. I seen it. I seen the aliens. Like, this is a real credible person. Like, he was in the, he was a government official, like he's a very credible person. This ain't no Yahoo in a backyard out in the South. Talking about he sees UFOs every Saturday or whatever. But and the trippiest thing about the UFO thing to me, the trippiest thing about that isn't even the fact that these so-called whistleblowers are coming out and basically confirming that, yeah, we're not alone, that there's fucking aliens. They've been here for generations now. But what trips me out the most is that nobody cares. Like, literally, like this dude came out on Congress on live TV talking about, yes, they're real. We have been visited. We're not alone. I can confirm. I'm testifying. Like, I have the proof and the evidence. We're not alone. There's aliens up in this bitch, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Everybody's just like, and you know what I mean? Are the aliens gonna fix inflation? Are the aliens going to eradicate COVID and all these other viruses? Are they going to stop global warming or whatever's going on with our fucking planet right now? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And speaking of, environmental issues, I mean, we just had the hurricane thing going down here in Southern Cali. I actually live in the Inland Empire. So it was actually not that bad out here. They really overhyped the shit out of that. I seen everybody and their mama on Twitter, all the memes about Californians expecting the hurricane, and then there was a hurricane. The little earthquake wasn't, dude. Man, when I was a little kid, I experienced that crazy earthquake. My parents got on top of me and shit during the earthquake, like to shield me in case the roof came crashing down. That was a real earthquake. That wasn't no damn earthquake. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that thing touched down in Pasadena, so I don't know. I can't speak for the people out there, but I didn't feel a damn thing. I think my old lady felt something. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's just crazy. The wildfires in Maui. Yo, Canada was on fire like just a few months ago. I mean, and the blaze, like the smoke from their fire appeared in New York. It covered out the sun, blocked out the sun. Like, I told my old lady, I'm like, babe, we might just be living through apocalyptic times. We might be living through a Roland Emmerich movie, and we don't even know it. For those of you that don't know, that's the director of The Day After Tomorrow and 2012 and Independence Day, among others. We might be living through one of his damn movies. It's crazy, man. It's getting out of control, and 2023 has been wild. And I've also been distracted by sports. Obviously, guys, the highlight reel, this podcast is mainly about wrestling, but I do like to cover a little bit of sports. Obviously, I've talked about boxing in the past. One of the things that really took away all my attention from wrestling within these last few months has been soccer as well. I'm a big soccer fan, and the CONCACAF Leagues Cup, as well as the Nations League before that happened, and then of course the United States eliminated Mexico from the Nations League, and then in the Leagues Cup, Inter Miami won the whole thing, beating out Nashville, and all the Liga MX teams went home with their tails tucked between their legs. About that though, first of all, let me get to the Nations League first, because I just want to say right now, the Mexican fans in the crowd were embarrassing. I'm going to tell you right now, as a Mexican American, I do not condone violence. I don't condone that kind of behavior, throwing their beers or whatever at the players and getting in a fight. I mean, during the Mexico-Qatar game, somebody got stabbed. Like, bro, really? And all the fights, like, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, the Mexican fans are attacking the fans from the other team. No. This is Mexican on Mexican violence. It was Mexican fans fighting other Mexican fans. Like the dude that got stabbed in the Qatar game, it was a Mexican that stabbed another Mexican. Like, it don't make no damn sense. I mean, he shouldn't be stabbing anybody, but I'm just saying, like, this kind of behavior, it's embarrassing, dog. It is embarrassing for me, like, because, I'm thinking that we should move on from that type of behavior by now. I mean, and we, people like me, I wonder why we don't get no representation in the media. And when we are represented, whenever there's a Mexican American or a Mexican, or let's just say a Latino in movies or TV, they're always either drug dealers, gangsters, cartels, prostitutes, maids, servants, and you know what? This kind of behavior, though, I'm not saying it justifies it, but it kind of proves, what these people think about us. It's like, like, you got to check yourself, man, because you're actually making us all look bad, because unfortunately, that's the small mindset that a lot of people have. They'll judge an entire race of people or an entire group of people. I don't want to say race. Every time you say race, a white person got to be like, Mexican isn't a race. Yeah, I get it. It's a nationality. But whatever, one person does something from a certain group of people, and then the entire group of people are going to be judged. And that's not right. And I've seen that time and time again on the MLS subreddit, on the U.S. soccer subreddit. And this is why me, as a Mexican American, I could never support the United States, just because their fans are fucking racist, xenophobic, biased, like just bitch ass fans, man. And I, I say that because I used to support the U.S. national team. And I still do. I'm not going to lie. Like, obviously, the United States didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. I believe they did qualify for the 2022 World Cup. I'm not sure. I think they did. I don't know. But either way, the point is, if when Mexico gets eliminated, I'll root for the United States if they're still in it. But the point is, I used to support the United States. But when I seen the way their fans act and the way they talk, then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm clearly not welcome here. Like, I'm supporting the wrong people. You feel me? I'm supporting the wrong team. But anyway, I just wanted to say, though, that, the way the Mexican fans acted in the Leagues Cup, that was embarrassing. Now, on to the Leagues Cup. I meant the Nations League. My bad. These tournaments are so stupid and confusing. It's just, it's nonsense. That was the Nations League I was talking about. But let's go ahead and talk about the Leagues Cup, which is all the club teams. It's one of the most blatantly corrupt, rigged-ass tournaments I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I saw Messi judo throw somebody, didn't get called. Meanwhile, a player from his team flopped in the box and they got a penalty. I mean, I've seen 3 handballs in one game, and of course, it was a Mexican team versus an MLS team. That one of the MLS players, they got 3 handballs. 2 of them were in the box. 2 of them were penalties, and it was not called. Not called. And it was disgusting to see. I don't remember what team it was because I'm trying to forget. I'm having PTSD over the Leagues Cup, bro. It was one of the most blatantly rigged ass, corrupt ass tournaments I ever seen in my entire life. And I'm going to have to continue to watch it because it's going to go through till 2028, and they have to pause Liga MX to show the Leagues Cup, and it's frustrating, bro. Like, the federation, the Mexican Soccer Federation, is whoring out Mexican football. It's whoring them out, and it's sad. It's sad to see that. But anyway, yeah, those are some of the things. Those are some of the things that, and congratulations. I mean, listen, Lionel Messi going to the MLS, that's a big deal. I didn't even touch on Leo Messi being in the house. I didn't even touch on that. And yes, I do regard him as quite possibly the greatest player in the history of football. I mean, my grandpa will tell you Pelé. My grandpa will tell you Pelé is the greatest of all time, even still. But I'm going to have to say Leo Messi quite possibly is the best of all time. I mean, my knowledge of soccer is very new. I barely got into the sport in 2010 during the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. But based on what I've seen, I would have to say in these last 13 years, I would have to say Messi is certainly the greatest player that I've ever watched, easily. And his accomplishments speak for itself at both club level and national level. It don't get no better than what he's accomplished. So I'll have to, big ups there. But man, it's still disgusting, and it's off-putting to see how CONCACAF clearly rigged, blatantly, not even trying to hide the shit. I mean, you had that one game where America won the game, and I'm not an America fan, by the way, I'm not even an America fan, but you have that one game where America won in a penalty shootout. The ref blows his whistle, and then like fucking 20 minutes later, the referee restarts the game. On my mama, I have never seen anything like that in my entire life, dog. A referee restarting a game after he blew his whistle. Granted, the penalty shootout, but that's like restarting the game, Like he blew his whistle for it to end, and he restarts it because he looked at footage and seen that the Mexican goalkeeper was off his line, and he was off his line. But I would be willing to bet you my left nut and my whole bank account, which isn't much right now, but I'd be willing to bet you that if it was the MLS keeper that was off his line, that referee would not have went through all that trouble to look at VAR and restart the fucking match 20 minutes after he blew the whistle for it to end. I guarantee you. It's some shit I never seen in my life, bro. Crazy shit, dog. Crazy shit. But anyway. Let's go ahead and talk a little AEW, y'all. It's been a minute. Those are just some of the things that have kept me away from making content. I love doing this, man. Don't think that I'm trying to, abandon this podcast and not talk about wrestling. Let's go ahead and talk about AEW, though. Guys, AEW Collision has debuted since I've been away, and I regrettably I never got to cover its debut, which is a shame because it was a great episode, really set the tone. And since then, I think we're already like maybe 10 episodes deep already with Collision. I could be wrong, maybe 10, maybe more than 10 actually. But there's been quite a few episodes of Collision to date, and guys, Collision is better than Dynamite. I'm just gonna say it point blank. Collision is the better show. It's the superior brand. It feels important. I don't know what it is. Everything on Collision, it just feels like it matters. Like it truly is must-see TV, as opposed to Dynamite, where everything just feels too fast. Like it's coming at you too quickly and discombobulated, with Excalibur talking at 100 miles an hour. And you know what I mean? And like everything is just, we're going to go to this. Like, I don't know. Like nothing is breathing. Whereas on Collision, everything has substance to it. Everything is built up. Everything has a flow to it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if it's because, those little promos they cut before the show even starts, before the music hits and the show actually officially opens. I don't know what it is, but this show just feels more important. It feels like a bigger deal as well. Yo, the set to AEW Collision, it is so fresh, man. It is so professional, and very good stuff. Very good. It's proper, man. Collision is a proper brand. Just looks great. And I'm happy with what they done on it. Now, there has been some controversies. I mean, we've had dudes being asked to leave. Christopher Daniels, Adam Page asked to leave, supposedly, allegedly, by CM Punk, kind of banning certain people from Dynamite onto Collision. Like if Punk is running the whole damn show, like he's producing Collision. And guys, I know I'm rambling. Let me just tell you right now, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if Punk is low-key producing Collision, dog. Because Collision feels different from Dynamite. It feels different. I don't know what it is. I'm going to tell you right now, and I said this on Reddit, and I got downvoted. But I'm going to say it again. Tony Khan is not running Collision. And if he is the showrunner, he's got help, like major help on Collision. There's no way Tony Khan is doing it alone. I'm going to tell you right now, he is not doing it alone. Because Collision just feels way different from Dynamite. It's like night and day. Like I said, I know I've been away. I've been obviously my attention has gone to other things, but I have been keeping up with Dynamite and with Collision and even with WWE. I seen, what was their most recent pay-per-view? Payback's the one coming up. I know that. What was the most recent pay-per-view, man? I don't even remember. Was it Money in the Bank? I don't know, but I've been watching WWE as well. Not as much. Like AEW is mainly what I watch weekly, but I keep up with WWE as far as their pay-per-views and stuff. At least I try to. But yeah, man, I've been paying very close attention to the AEW landscape. And I'm telling you right now, Collision is better than Dynamite, guys. In my personal opinion, you guys could feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to sound off in the comment section if you're watching via YouTube. Feel free to tell me how wrong I am and how right you are, as long as you provide a reason to your argument. But I really think that Collision is better than Dynamite. But the bigger news going down in AEW right now is the All-In Spectacular going down in 2 days, guys, and 2 nights. This Sunday, it is currently August 25th, Friday, August 25th, as I record this. I recorded the Bray Wyatt, Terry Funk tribute in the morning, this morning when I got up. And now I'm recording. Right now, the all-in card is, I gotta be honest, guys, it's a little uninspiring for my taste. I just gotta come out and say it off the bat. You know, and listen, I'm proud of AEW because this is a company. Let's remember that I believe it was Triple H himself who said to Billy Gunn during the Hall of Fame. He referred to AEW as a little pissant T-shirt company, and they said it's a little pissant T-shirt company that would fold in like 2 or 3 years, right? Well, here is AEW now, on its 4th year, heading into Wembley fucking Stadium, which that in itself, let me just say right now, Wembley Stadium is one of the most historic, one of the biggest. Obviously, Will Ospreay on the last Dynamite said, Wembley Stadium is the biggest stadium in the UK. No, it's not, bro. Wembley is the biggest stadium in the world. It's one of them. It's one of the biggest stadiums in the entire planet. I know Estadio Azteca in Mexico City used to be like the 3rd largest stadium on earth. I think Wembley has surpassed it. Because they did some remodeling on Azteca and they kind of ruined it. But anyway, Wembley Stadium is one of the biggest, and not just in size, but I mean, speaking in history as well. It's a historic venue. It's a very prominent venue, Wembley is. So that's a big deal in itself. And now we come to find that they have pushed 85,000 tickets. 85,000 plus tickets. That is incredible for a little pissant T-shirt company that's only been around, going on its 4th year, or going into its 5th year soon. But I mean, that is incredible. This company started in 2019, dog. That is incredible. But this card, guys, there's only really 2 matches that I'm interested in. And let's go ahead and get into the card. We got the AEW World Championship, MJF taking on Adam Cole. The AEW Tag Team Championship as FTR defends the Young Bucks. We got the AEW Women's Title 4-Way. Hikaru Shida, who is the champ, defending against Toni Storm, Britt Baker, and Saraya. We got the quote-unquote real World Championship belt being defended by CM Punk against longtime nemesis Samoa Joe. We got a tag team, I guess a tornado tag coffin match with Darby Allin and Sting taking on Swerve Strickland and the current, he's the spokesperson for the current TNT champ Luchasaurus, and that is Christian Cage, Captain Charisma himself. We got Will Ospreay. Let me just say right now, Christian Cage is doing some of the best work in his entire career right now. Let me just throw that out there right now. This dude is freaking fantastic, man. Christian Cage is fantastic. His heel work, his promos, his his dress code, the way he comes out in them turtlenecks, and he just looking fly as hell, bro. Christian is killing it right now. Killing it. We got Will Ospreay taking on Chris Jericho. We got a Stadium Stampede match, which this is going to be interesting just to, see how it works. Because if they're really going to air a cinematic match in the stadium, that's going to be, I don't know, man. I want to see them somehow pull off the Stadium Stampede in the stadium with the crowd there. I know that's probably not possible, but I don't know. There's got to be some way. Just an anarchy in the stadium match is what it should. That's all it is. A Stadium Stampede, right? It's like a anarchy in the arena match, but in an empty stadium that they did for the pandemic era. They should just make it an Anarchy in the Stadium match. Go ahead and call it Stadium Stampede. I don't know. But this match consists of Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, Penta El Cerro Miedo, taking on the Blackpool Combat Club and Proud and Powerful. We got the Elite versus Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita. We got the AEW Trios Championship, House of Black, the defending champs, against the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. We got the FTW title, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who is the FTW champ, taking on the son of Taz, the innovator of FTW, Hook. And in the 0 hour, which is AEW's pre-show or kickoff, we got the ROH tag titles being defended. It'll be Aussie Open, the current ROH champs, against Better Than You, Baby. And I cannot believe that the main eventers are going to curtain jerk for some titles that are completely irrelevant, because Tony Khan not putting the tag titles on them when he had the chance to was a major blunder, and he clearly sees that now. Speaking of blunders as it pertains to the AEW tag team titles, Cash Wheeler getting arrested for assault with a deadly weapon. And as it turns out, this was a road rage incident. And me being a truck driver myself, I drive for a living. Boy, I know a thing or two about road rage. Let me tell you. It's like I feel for Cash Wheeler. Like man, thank God I don't have a gun. Let me tell you. Because I already know. I would have busted out my gun too already multiple times on these crazy ass drivers out here. But when you're a celebrity, which he is, he really is. Maybe not a big celebrity, but he's a known performer, and he needs to have more responsibility and situational awareness. Like, you don't bust out a gun, bro. Like, I know this dude is road raging on you, but like, come on, bro. You have the biggest show of your career coming up, All In. You're supposed to defend the tag straps. You're on TV every Saturday on Collision and occasionally on Wednesdays for Dynamite. Come on, man. Have some awareness, have some self-control, be responsible. Like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? That phrase gets thrown around a lot. It's not worth it, but in this case, that phrase is extremely relevant. It's not worth it. And seeing his mugshot, you could see. Speaking of mugshots, though, Donald Trump, Donald Trump looks like he's a man that's gonna come back with a vengeance. Like, he looks like the son of Satan, dog. Like, he looks like Lucifer himself in that mugshot. It is a trip. But anyway, I don't do politics on this podcast, guys. Just the Donald Trump mugshot is a big deal right now. But Cash Wheeler, he looked, he looked touched, man, in that in that mugshot. He looked pressed, and of course he was. Now, as of right now, it appears that he's not gonna have any trouble getting into London for the Wembley show. As it turns out, the incident happened in Florida. And I don't know, man. Florida is like a whole different country. So I don't know. But it appears that there's not going to be any issues with Cash Wheeler going to All In, which kind of upsets me just because I'm mad at the fact that, Rey Fenix couldn't go because of visa issues, and he's got a clean record, but somebody who busted out a deadly assault weapon can go. Nah, hey, I got nothing but love for FTR, though. I'm not trying to, I'm just playing around. I'm kind of serious about it, because I wish Rey Fenix could have gone. AR Fox ain't gonna go. He's also having some kind of visa issues. And more troubling to me is the fact that Andrade, El Idolo, is being left off of this big show. Bro, they really could have built to a big match between him and Malachi Black at this show, and I promise you it would have been a hot ass house for these two. Malachi Black is of Dutch descent. You know, he's like from the Netherlands, and there is a lot of Dutch people over there in the UK. You know, it's very close. And they would have went crazy, man. I promise you, they would have went crazy for that. If Malachi Black and Andrade had a nice build up to a one-on-one match there, perhaps it could be done at All Out, which is a pay-per-view a week later from All In. I ain't buying that one. I'm gonna buy All In, but I ain't gonna buy All Out. That's too much already. I'm sorry. That's overkill, dog. They really should have canceled All Out. But, I mean, it is what it is. This is kind of like their version of WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. Except, you know, you're paying for both of them, which is crazy. You know, a week later or not, it's still, you know, it's a crazy thing. But, yeah, guys, I guess I'll go ahead and give you my predictions for each match before we close out this quick little episode here. You know what? Let's go ahead and start from the bottom to the top, actually. Let's go ahead and start from the 0 hour. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship on the line as Aussie Open defend against Better Than You, baby. And once again, let me just say, I do not understand this decision to have your main eventers curtain jerking this massive event to take on some titles that are extremely irrelevant right now. I mean, come on, bro. Nobody watches Ring of Honor. Ain't nobody paying $10 a month to see some pre-taped Ring of Honor shows. And you can't even get access to the pay-per-views. It's just to get access to the Ring of Honor Weekly. Bro, that is banana jammas. Ain't nobody doing that. Nobody cares about Ring of Honor. And if you do, God bless you. God bless you. You're a real soldier for Ring of Honor. But, of course, they're not going to have Adam Cole and MJF lose. You know what I mean? When they're main eventing this historic event. This is history, guys. This is going to go down. Let's say AEW folds a week later. Let's just say. If AEW were to close up shop a week later, this All-In show is still going to go down in wrestling history as one of the biggest events of all time. This is history that we're witnessing. We're on the precipice of witnessing history. That ain't no joke. That's some real shit. So they're not going to lose. It's very clearly obvious. Better Than You, baby, are going to win. And I guess this is they're adding more ingredients to the pot, you know, to spice up the feud and the main event. I don't want to say feud because clearly Adam Cole and MJF are having anything but a feud. Their buddy, odd couple angle has been... It has been amazing, man. It's been amazing. I don't know the word to describe it. It's been highly entertaining. It's been like the summer blockbuster, you know? That's basically what MJF and Adam Cole have been, you know, for these past few months, man. It's been like the summer blockbuster, and I'm here for it. And I've been here for it, and I love it. I love it, actually. This is the most entertaining thing AEW has done in a long time. No cap. This is the most entertaining thing they've done in a while. So, and it's gonna be interesting, man, how they book it. You know, I mean, the way this angle has gone. You could make an argument that, you know, this pay-per-view is worth your $50 just for Adam Cole and MJF. Just for that match is worth the $50 because guess what? This is storytelling, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've been wanting to see from AEW. So let's move on. Yeah, Better Than You, baby. Adam Cole and MJF are going to win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. It was a big mistake, yet again, on Tony Khan's part to not put the AEW tag straps on them. That one episode of Collision a few weeks ago, whatever it was. And so now he's rectifying it by putting the ROH titles on them. That's what this is. Kind of like how when he failed to call an audible and put the tag titles on the Acclaimed during, I believe it was All Out. And so instead he opted to put it on them during Grand Slam, because he knew he made a mistake. This is what this reminds me of on the part of the Ring of Honor Tag Championship bout. Up next, we have the FTW title. Jack Perry defending against Hook. Guys, Jack Perry's heel turn has been a failure for me. Jack Perry is not believable at all. He's not believable at all as a face or a heel. And now I'm not saying that he can't become believable, because he could. I have been seeing that he's like putting in pretty solid effort. Like each week he seems to get better. And he seems to be more into it. But I think that the problem is they need to put Anna Jay with him. They need to become an on-screen heel couple, because she's already a heel right now anyway. It's perfect. The reason they were kept away from each other in the first place is because he was a baby face while she was a heel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's my theory. But now they're both heels. They should be an on-screen tandem. And I don't even know if that would help Jack Perry, to be honest, because he's just void of charisma, man. I gotta tell you, for a dude who comes from his dad was an actor in Hollywood. He was a 90210. I mean, like, dude, Jack Perry, you would think would be super charismatic. He's a good looking dude. He's got the hair. I mean, he could be a movie star, you would think, but he has zero charisma. Like, he's just not charismatic. Nothing he says or does is believable. So this is kind of hard to predict, though, because I'm actually leaning towards Hook having a crazy moment and winning in a big stadium. I'm thinking Tony Khan wants to be a mark and give Hook his moment in a big stadium, but at the same time, I feel like doing that would be a big mistake, because Jack Perry, they're trying to get him over as a heel. But I just told you that it ain't working for me, at least. So I'm going to go with Hook. I'm going to go with Hook to win the FTW title and bring it back to his pops. And you know what? And I hope that they retire the FTW title, because the AEW has too many championships. I know they say it's not an official title, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. In the eyes of the casual viewer, they're seeing all these different championships on the same show, dude. They don't know what's what. It's too much. Let's move on. House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Badass Billy Gunn for the trios titles. Man, I hate to say it, but I think the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn are gonna win, dude. And if they do, because I think Tony Khan is gonna be a mark, and he wants to see that. He's not booking because what makes sense. He's booking because he wants to mark out. So I think he's going to have the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn win. But there really is no reason for them to win the trios titles other than just to create a moment, just to create a big pop. And I mean, perhaps to give Billy Gunn, his flowers, being a veteran, I guess. But come on, man. The House of Black, this is an act that people want to see succeed. And they've been floundering. They've been in and out. They've been hot and then cold and then hot and then cold. They need to be booked a lot stronger. I could see House of Black retain if maybe by way of Billy Gunn turning on the Acclaimed, like he should have done when it was the Acclaimed versus his sons, the Gun Club, because, that's logical. That makes sense. But it didn't, I guess, to Tony Khan. So, anyway, in spite of my feeling that Tony Khan is going to want to be a big mark and put the trios titles on the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, I'm going to pick House of Black, Because, you know, it makes no sense, man, for the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass to have the trio straps. It don't make no sense. It's not going to do nothing for the trios titles or the trios division. It's not going to do nothing for the Acclaimed. And it's not going to do nothing for Billy Gunn. They don't need it. They don't deserve it, quite frankly. But, I mean, really, these titles kind of don't mean shit anyway. So, whatever, they're throwaways. But I'm going to go with the House of Black. Now, in the Elite versus Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita. Now, by when I say Elite, it's Kenny Omega and Adam Page. And who else? Kota Ibushi. Yeah, Kenny Omega. Adam Page and Kota Ibushi taking on Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita. Bullet Club Gold have been fantastic. I know I've said that probably in the last episode 2 months ago that the Bullet Club Gold have been doing great work, but more so Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson has really captivated me and has shown me that he can be a big star, man, this guy. And he's I believe he's married to one Tony Storm, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be a hell of a on-screen tandem too at some point down the line. But anyway, the Elite are gonna go over. Yeah, the Elite are gonna go over Bullet Club and Takeshita. I don't really have much else to add to that. I mean, I just think because you know, Bullet Club Gold, they couldn't beat FTR but then they're gonna beat the Elite. I don't know. It just seems counterintuitive. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Elite are gonna definitely get a win in the stadium. It's a stadium show, you know. Let's move on. Then we got the Stadium Stampede match, which, let me tell you, if this is a cinematic match, this is gonna be the bathroom break match right here. But Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Penta El Cerro Miedo taking on the Blackpool Combat Club and Proud and Powerful. You know, this one is a tough call because, you know, Proud and Powerful just came back and they've been at odds with each other. You know, and I guess they hash things out. You know, if Proud and Powerful can hash things out, why the fuck can't CM Punk and the Elite hash things out? Like, really, it shouldn't be Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, dog. It should be Kenny Omega versus CM Punk at the stadium. That's what it should be. But because these guys want to act like little kids and they have a boss who's even more. Yeah, so I just wish I wish these people could hash things out. Everybody, CM Punk, the Elite, like Proud and Powerful did. They set an example. Yeah, so this is a tough call, man. Because I want to see Eddie Kingston pick up a big win in a stadium atmosphere. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick Eddie Kingston and the rest of these fools just so I could see Eddie Kingston get that monster pop in a stadium, man. He deserves it. He really does. Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. I'm one of the biggest Jericho marks there is, and I think that this match is a waste and a disservice to Ospreay. I'm going to just say it right now. But with that said, I think Will Ospreay should go over. He should and most certainly will. I don't see, I mean, unless somebody big comes out, like Sammy Guevara runs in while there's shenanigans with Don Callis, who will most certainly be in the corner for Will Ospreay. But Man, I don't know, because then again, man, I could see Jericho winning this too. Because Jericho, man, he's taken a lot of L's in big events. I mean, one thing I'll never forget is when Jericho, at the prime of his career too, took an L against Fandango at that one WrestleMania. I don't even remember that WrestleMania. And I'll never forget that. It's one of the most weirdest booking decisions I've ever seen. I mean, I know Fandango was never over. It's his song that was over. That fool was never over. You know, when Fandango would come out, everybody would sing his song, but nobody really cared about him. Even sometimes during his matches, they would just sing his theme song instead of cheering for him when he did anything. And by the way, I think I would be safe in saying that I think Fandango is responsible, like, as not responsible, but being the first in this trend of fans singing the person's theme when they come out. Because, you know, that's a big thing nowadays. You know, like Cody Rhodes, when he comes out, they do the whoa. And, you know, obviously Jericho with Judas. And there's others. Shinsuke Nakamura used to be big, you know, when he, you know, they the oh, whatever. And Seth Rollins, of course, for his entrance, they do a little sing-along. But if I'm not mistaken, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to in the comment section if you're watching via YouTube. But I think Fandango is like the first actual guy that had that. You know, when he would come out, the fans would sing his, you know, the da-da-da-da, da-da-da, whatever the hell. I don't even remember. And I actually seen him live too. I seen him live the same Monday Night Raw, I'm pretty sure, where I saw Bray Wyatt that I talked about earlier today. But yeah, that's just an interesting fun fact for me. I'm pretty sure. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You could also reach me on Twitter, Lalo_THR. That's on the gram and the Twitter, or X, as it's now been called. See, I've been gone for so damn long. Even Twitter got a name change while I've been out. And I don't even recognize it, but X, I still call it Twitter. But anyway, man, I'm gonna pick Will Ospreay to go over Jericho in the tag or tornado tag coffin match with Darby and Sting taking on Swerve and Christian. I think Sting is nearing the end of his career. They want to give him a couple of big, you know, milestones before he goes. And this would be one hell of a milestone to get a big win in a stadium like this. So I'm going to go with Darby and Sting over Swerve and Christian, because Swerve and Christian is really thrown together anyway. So, you know, they could always just chalk it up to a lack of cohesion between the two that led to their downfall, blah, 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 that sort of deal. For the Real World Championship, CM Punk against Samoa Joe. CM, they're not going to take that title. Which, by the way, I do want to say that was very, very clever, you know, on CM Punk's part. You know, tagging the X over the E, over the Elite in the title. You know, because that's symbolic for a lot of reasons in many ways. And that was just very, very clever. Well played, Mr. Phil Brooks. Well played. But yeah, CM Punk's going over Samoa Joe. In the AEW Women's 4-Way title bout, Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, Britt Baker, and Saraya. Who will it be? I honestly don't care. If I'm going to be honest. But, it's, you know, a part of me thinks, again, Tony Khan is going to be a little mark and book Saraya to win the title just because she's in her home, you know, she's in England, and it would be a nice little little thing for her. But man, if he did that, I mean, it would make, excuse me, pardon me, it would make Hikaru Shida look dumb as hell because she just won the title. And on the flip side, Toni Storm is doing fantastic work right now as a character. As I love her new hairstyle. She looks like a throwback, like a Marilyn Monroe type of chick, and it's a very good look for her. And then along with that posh, like Australian British accent that she does, I mean, it works for her, and she's doing fantastic work. And I will go as far as to say that I would not mind Toni Storm regaining the women's title. Actually, as a matter of fact, I would want her to regain the women's title. I think that would be fantastic for her. On the other hand, we have Dr. DMD Britt Baker, who obviously, Tony Khan has been backing her. He's been behind her from the get-go, from the jump. She's been the face of the women's division, since the company's inception, pretty much. So it would not surprise me for her to get a big moment like that in a stadium by winning the title. And, since I've been gone, there's been a lot of talks of politics going down backstage in AEW locker rooms. One Lufisto, a veteran French-Canadian performer, has come out recently and talked about how there's a lot of backstage politics as it pertains to the AEW women's locker room, and in particular Britt Baker, who has been, known, so to speak, as to being somewhat of a politician in the IWC for a while now. So she could very much so politic her way into another title reign just to have that moment in the stadium, guys. So this is difficult to predict, if I don't say so myself, this 4-way women's title match. This is really tough, actually. I really don't think Hikaru Shida is gonna retain. I really don't. You know what I mean? I think that she was just a placeholder, so someone can have a big win and be crowned champion in the stadium. And damn, man, I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I want Toni Storm to win this. If I have to pick a dog in this fight, I'm gonna pick Toni Storm. I want her to win this. Man, imagine the pop that Jamie Hayter would get, yo, if she were to come out. Imagine the pop she would get. As a matter of fact, listen, if Britt Baker ends up winning, just so she could have her moment in the sun, winning a title in a big stadium, I will only accept that if Jamie Hayter comes out in the post-match while Britt Baker is celebrating, and I'm sure Tony Khan's mark ass he's gonna add confetti, maybe pyro or something while she holds up the title. And then one Jamie Hayter walks down to the ring. Like, nah. Cue her music, son. Cue her music, son. Cue her music. She comes storming down to the ring and makes eye contact with Britt Baker and then motions to her waist like, that title is mine, bitch. That title is mine. Then I could get behind that. Fuck, man. You know what? I don't know who to pick. This is a pick'em, man. I don't know. All I know is I don't think Hikaru Shida is retaining. That's my only prediction, really, for this match. Hikaru Shida ain't retaining. I don't think so. I think she's a placeholder. I think they put the title back on her just so that way they could create a moment with somebody else winning in London. And that somebody, in my opinion, is either going to be Toni Storm or Saraya. But with Britt Baker's the dark horse because I could see her politic her way into a new title reign. You feel me? Because that's what she's known for, at least in the IWC. So I know I sound like such a nerd. Oh man, I'm just gonna roll with Tony Storm, man, because I want to see her win the women's title again. It's probably gonna be Saraya. It's probably gonna be Saraya though. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go ahead at the AEW Tag Team Championship. FTR defending against the Young Bucks. This is another situation where I will only accept the Young Bucks beating FTR if it's because it's gonna lead to something else. I think FTR should win with CM Punk causing shenanigans. CM Punk does a run in, that would be dope. And imagine the pop, imagine the crowd if CM Punk does a run in during this match. I know a fat chance it ain't gonna happen. I wanted to pick FTR, but because of the situation with Cash Wheeler and the assault weapon and everything, I could see them justifying putting the titles on the Young Bucks because of that. My prediction is that this is going to be a good-ass match. I can't tell you who's going to win, though. I cannot tell you who's going to win. It's a pick'em. This is another pick'em. But I'm going to roll with... Shit, man. This is a tough one, man. This card, this card is really uninspired, and it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict. I'm gonna pick FTR, man, just because again, this is another pick where, like the Tony Storm pick, where I'm just rolling with them. So I'm gonna pick them, even though I could definitely see Young Bucks going over. It's a stadium. They're the founders of the company. One of them, come on, it's kind of a no-brainer, but I really want FTR to win, so I'm just going to pick them, even though my brain is telling me most likely Young Bucks are going to go over. Now, into the main event, the AEW World Championship, MJF defending against his best bud, Adam Cole, and what has been a very entertaining angle between these two. I don't want it to end. And quite frankly, I don't think anybody does, nor does Tony Khan, which is why he's going to put the ROH titles on them. This has been very entertaining TV. MJF is going to retain. He's going to win the title. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they really wanted to create a moment, bro, if Adam Cole won the title at Wembley, bro, oh my God. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Goosebumps. I'm Mexican, don't judge me. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking of Adam Cole raising the title at Wembley, bro. Holy shit. You want to create a buzz. You want to create a moment, an unforgettable moment, bro. Adam Cole, because nobody's expecting it. I could tell you right now, nobody is expecting it. Nobody's expecting Adam Cole to take the title off of MJF. No one's expecting Adam Cole to drop the title for the rest of this year. Everybody's been saying, all the pundits alike have been saying that pretty much MJF is AEW's Roman Reigns. He's going to get that tribal treat. Tribal treat? Oh, Lord. If Roman Reigns was a male stripper in an alternate universe, the tribal treat. MJF is going to get the tribal chief treatment, you know what I mean, holding on to the title for a long time, until, I don't know how Roman Reigns is going to drop it. That's a whole nother animal to talk about. But for MJF, yeah, man, no one's expecting him to drop the title for the rest of this year. He's going to carry it well into 2024. So, yeah, man, it would be huge if Adam Cole were to take the title off of MJF. But in the end, I don't see it happen. I mean, I could see it happen. but I don't see it happening. MJF will retain by hook or crook. And by the way, this who's gonna turn deal, they're making it way too obvious that Adam Cole's gonna be the one to turn on MJF. That I'm actually beginning to think that they're trying to swerve us, and it is still gonna be in actuality MJF who turns on Adam Cole, because now they're making it way too obvious. You seen in the last episode of Dynamite when MJF was interviewed by Renee. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm being completely genuine. Adam Cole is the true, he is the only true friend I've ever had, and blah blah blah." And and then when Adam Cole was interviewed, it was all different. He was like, "Oh, there's no issues and blah blah blah." Having a little mini meltdown there, a little mini panic attack, getting emotional when questioned about him and MJF having issues. And this storyline has been really corny, to be honest, but it's been entertaining in spite of it. It's been really entertaining in spite of itself. And that's really attributed to MJF, because MJF is just fucking fantastic at everything he does. And he's really proved that with this angle. He's proved it. He's fantastic at pretty much everything. There's nothing that MJF can't do. You know what I mean? Not to kiss his ass, but really, there's nothing this dude can't do to make such a corny angle like this entertaining as hell. I just saw them on Hot Ones. First We Feast with that bald dude. I forgot his name, but he be asking good questions all the time to every guest that he has. And AEW, that's when they've made it. When they have performers on their roster appear on Hot Ones. Bro, that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, in the end, I believe MJF will retain. But it would be something else, man, if Adam Cole won the strap at Wembley. That's going to do it, guys, for the highlight reel. I just wanted to get this episode out, man. Once again, man, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. Bray Wyatt really just was so unexpected, man. I still can't believe it. A day removed, I'm still shocked. I'm still beside myself. And, yeah, may he rest in peace, man. That's, life is it's cliche to say it, but life is, it's not that life is short, but life goes by quick. That's the problem. Life isn't short. Life really isn't. It's not short, but it goes by fucking fast. And sometimes for some people, it goes by a little bit faster than others. That's why my tagline at the end of every episode, I say it, live life on cruise control. Because sometimes you get farther when you take it slow. And what that saying means, I created that, by the way. I didn't get that from nobody. I created that. I came up with that saying myself. I feel like trademarking that shit. But anyway, what that saying means, it doesn't mean, live life on cruise control. It doesn't mean, just don't take life seriously, just fucking, cruise through life. Don't take it seriously. That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is live life on cruise control, meaning chill out, relax, smile a little more, be happy, appreciate every day, because you're not promised tomorrow. Don't take nothing for granted. And remember that we all have goals and dreams and aspirations in life, and it's not just about getting to it, but it's the journey to the destination. You know what I mean? Everybody wants that promotion. Everybody wants that new job. Everybody wants to get married. Everybody wants to, they can't wait to graduate. Whatever your situation is, enjoy the journey. Because that's going to be the special thing. In the end, it's never actually achieving what it is you want. It's the journey that gets you there, that ends up becoming iconic in your personal ethos, in your personal story. You feel me? That's what I mean by live life on cruise control. Don't go speeding in through your journey. cruise, enjoy it, live it, be in the moment. Because as you've seen with Bray Wyatt, man, 1 minute somebody's here, the next they're gone. They are gone. And it's a terrible feeling, man. And we all gotta band together. We all gotta love each other, man. We gotta stick together, and do better. Do better in life. There's a lot of tensions in the world and a lot of things going on. I mean, apparently we got UFOs and shit and aliens and everything, just wild stuff. And it's only more of a reason that we need to live life on cruise control and remember that, life is precious, man. Life is precious. R.I.P. Terry Funk. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Live life on cruise control, because sometimes you get farther when you take it slow. I'm out.